Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday. It's the 15th day of June. It's National Smile Power Day.
Okay.
Smiles are quite powerful, by the way.
They certainly are.
They improve your face value, Heidi.
Yeah, yes, they do.
It's also Nature Photography Day, which a lot of the time makes you smile. So those two things kind of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And I got a guest today. I'm going to be visiting with, for Movie Star Monday, John Hawkes. And you've seen him in a lot of stuff. I actually just watched the new film that he was just in. It's called End of Sentence. And they asked me, they said, hey, you should watch it before the interview. And I've never really had anybody tell me to watch the brand new movie before the interview. I was like, okay, it's a really good movie. He's also in Peanut Butter Falcon with Shia LaBeouf. He's in a movie that we just watched, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. He's in that. He's in a TV show called Deadwood that was like hugely popular.
Huge,
a lot of cool stuff. We'll be chatting with him later in the program. His name, once again, John Hawkes. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. I don't know who did this survey, but an NBC poll, that's who it was, but I mean who answered it, found that 80% of Americans think the country is out of control right now.
Oh, you think?
So, what's the other 20% doing?
Jeez.
So, of course, if there's buildings burning, there are people, you know, it is. Yeah, and it's not a good thing. So I'm not sure who the other 20% of Americans are that got this survey. They're like,
everything's good.
Haven't been watching the news or TV or
Clearly.
Facebook or anything for the last couple of months here. So and it's not a good thing that things are out of control, but I think that is the reality. So there you go. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Wisconsin man ordered to serve 5 years in prison for his 15th drunk driving offense. That's not good.
Oh, my gosh.
15 times 67-year-old Mark Allen Johnson was caught. How many times did he drive without getting caught?
Oh, my gosh.
Sentenced in connection to a guilty plea to a felony operating intoxicated. He was arrested in November for an OWI in his pickup truck when he ran into a ditch in an intersection near his home in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Johnson, whose license had been revoked at the time, one of the vehicles, it was just a one-vehicle crash. He's been locked up
Thank God.
since the arrest. Johnson, whose drunk driving arrests have come in Wisconsin and neighboring Minnesota, is eligible for the substantial abuse program after serving 4 years initial confinement, according to a sentencing order. His blood alcohol content was measured at nearly twice the legal limit. So he wasn't just a little drunk. He was drunk. So, dude, do yourself a favor and seek some help. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. CNN anchor Chris Cuomo has a little bit of an interesting story. He was seen naked in the background of his wife's yoga video on Instagram Live.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that was totally accidental.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm not sure exactly why. But here we are talking about him. So there you go. Ryan Seacrest is considering a full-time move back to Los Angeles following last month's health scare because the lifestyle is more relaxed than New York. So he's going, between the two, I think this is where I want to be.
Right.
Demi Lovato beat out Ronda Rousey in a screaming match on the new CBS show called Game On. I've not seen anything about this. Have you?
Either. No.
I know who both of them are, and I didn't really understand how the two of them would be competing, but apparently it's like a game show or something. I'm not sure. Somebody has to clue me in.
I just don't watch much.
We haven't lately.
Television.
We've been staying pretty busy with other stuff.
If we watch something, it's a movie or something.
And one last thing here. Amanda Seales is quitting The Real after a 6-month stint. You know what The Real is?
No.
It's kind of like The Chew. You know what The Chew is? It's kind of like The View. You know what The View is? It's kind of like...
I don't know what
so
that is.
it's one of these shows that are all like the same. And I know there's somebody listening right now going, John, they're all a little bit different. I know. But this is the one that she was on for 6 months. Now, not anymore. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A survey has found more boys than girls like unhealthy, fatty, and sugary foods. Meat, processed meat, and eggs. Girls questioned in the survey were more likely to enjoy fruits and vegetables. Or they weren't being honest.
I was going to say.
But, then again, maybe they were. That's cool. A guy in Canada flew into a violent rage at a Wendy's after staff forgot to put mustard on his burger. We're actually going to tell you the rest of that story.
How dare they?
We're going to tell you the rest of that story here later in the program, so I don't want to tell you too much there. A naked man was taken down by numerous bystanders in a New York City scuffle. Video clips show the naked man fighting people, believe that he was on drugs. He was totally naked. The man was just wearing socks and shoes. So that means he wasn't totally naked. He had the socks and shoes going. New government study finds U.S. children and teens are still downing too much in what they call empty calories, too many, primarily from sugary beverages, sweets, and pizza. The study did turn up some good news. In recent years, kids have been eating fewer empty calories versus a decade ago. The bad news, those sources still account for more than 1/4 of the children's total calories.
Yikes.
So that's too bad. A mother in the UK has put an end to her kids raiding their sweet drawer. She installed a vending machine. Interesting idea. Sarah Balsdon found a machine on Facebook Marketplace and bought it. And then, if the kids want sweets, they have to do chores to earn enough money to buy them.
Well, that's a good idea.
It is. Where would you put a vending machine, though?
I don't know. They must have a bigger house than we do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where we could move the refrigerator,
The
maybe.
shed.
And yeah, I don't know. Or in the garage, but probably not. Ladies, if your husband doesn't remember to pick up milk on the way home or forgets your birthday, it might not be his fault. Research shows men are worse than women at remembering to do things in the future. Rather than simply not listening when asked to do something, it seems they forget what they were told to do. Why are you looking at me?
I'm not.
You
wasn't
are too.
going to say a thing.
You're pointing at me and laughing. I do that all the time. I'll leave, then I come back. She's like, hey, did you, like the one thing I left to do, hey, did you do that? I'm like, oh, man, I forgot that. But I did this. Stomach contents of a 110-year-old dinosaur have been revealed. 110-year-old dinosaur. I wonder if they mean 110 million years old, or
110
or maybe they
years
discovered
old.
maybe they discovered it 110 years
know.
ago.
Anyway, what did he eat?
Doesn't say.
Oh, thanks for that on the spot report,
That's the
John.
end of the story. I do have one last story here. A guy in Brazil was upset that his friend had been arrested by police, so he walked into the police station, to inquire what was going on. Turns out it was a bad idea. He was wanted by the police. He was standing right next to his own wanted picture.
Oh my gosh.
And he was arrested. So there you go. Not a great plan. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. JohnHawkes-EndOfSentence.com.
It's another Movie Star Monday as we visit with John Hawkes, an award-winning actor who's been in a bunch of great projects like Peanut Butter Falcon with Shia LaBeouf, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and he was on Deadwood for many years, and that character is kind of a fun character. Do you get recognized as that character quite often?
Yeah, I think that show was so popular with a certain group of people for some years, and until the movie'd been made, and I guess after too. But that's something that, even though we hadn't been on the air for many years, people would still stop you on the street and talk to you about it. It was very dear to people, I guess, who liked the show. So that's great.
And your newest project, End of Sentence, I actually just had a chance to watch it. Very, very good movie, and that just came out, right?
Yeah, I believe it's been out about a week or something. It's so hard to tell anymore, but yeah, on all the formats, it's Amazon and iTunes and such. It's been out, I guess, maybe about a week. But
this is a pretty cool story, and it's kind of a different character for you, isn't it?
It is. I've gotten to play a really wide range in my life. That's exciting. But yeah, this is a guy who I try to make them all different, or pick different kinds of stories and different people to play. So this one fits right alongside all the others, I hope.
I think you did an amazing job. In the beginning of the movie, you can tell the character's very timid, and then the relationship between him and his son, and just that character arc that you go through, both of you, just an amazing job.
Yeah, there's actor Logan Lerman that I got to work with. He and I play father and son. He's really terrific, and a young actress named Sarah Bolger, who's very, very, very good as well. And the story takes place in Ireland, so part of the joy of the movie, I think, is taking a road trip to Ireland. It's a beautiful countryside, and it's filmed really beautifully, so if you need an escape, there's another reason to see the film right there.
Absolutely. Now, did you actually go on location in Ireland to film this? It certainly looks like it, but I didn't know if that was like on a set somewhere.
No, they can do anything nowadays, can't they? But no, we went to Ireland and shot. It was I'd never been, and always had wanted to go, so it was really terrific.
You've had a chance to do a lot of awesome projects, and one that was kind of the talk of the town in Hollywood and everywhere, actually, just a few years ago, was 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Your character in that movie couldn't be any further from the character in this one, could they?
I would say, yeah, I would certainly say, and that's, again, one of the joys of doing what I get to do is to see the world through a lot of different viewpoints, I guess I would say. So
as you've had a chance to play all these characters, is there any character you've played that's kind of close to who you really are?
That's a great question. I wonder if it might be, there's combinations of myself and Frank, in this movie we're talking about, End of Sentence, some, I suppose. Hopefully the kindness of Frank and the kindness and grit of Solstar and Deadwood. Yeah, and then some of those darker characters, certainly I'm not like that in life, but I guess I have the capacity, the potential to have that too. I don't know. I guess maybe Solstar, if I had to pick one. Probably because I got to. Sorry, I'm outside. Sorry, I got to portray him for years and years, so that made me close to him.
That's fantastic. You've had the opportunity to work with some amazing actors: Shia LaBeouf, looking on here, Josh Brolin, Jake Gyllenhaal. Is that kind of surreal to be working with these people who you see in all these other great projects too?
It really is surreal, very much so, and always thrilling. I'm a fan of movies as well and stories, and so to get to meet an actor that you admire it's a real thrill. It's a great thing. That's again one of the really lucky things about being an actor here.
Now, in addition to the movies we've talked about, you've also had a chance to be a part of an amazing TV program, Deadwood, and that was super popular. Do you like that format where you can do season after season after season and the story can just keep continuing? Or would you rather do like a 2-hour movie?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I think I like the long form. I really did enjoy being on Deadwood. You get to, particularly if you're enjoying the people you're working with and the character you're playing, why not have it go on a while? And let's face it, actors have a hard time finding work, so it's a great thing to have a long, steady job, and that's what TV offers. So yeah, I think I'd prefer the long form, but it's good to tell a story in 2 hours too, or in this case, about an hour and 30 minutes for End of Sentence.
And it's a darn good story as well. John, thank you so much for taking the time to visit, sir.
Oh, thank you, John. Best to you, and I hope you and your listeners stay healthy and happy.
Absolutely. You do the same. Again, Oscar nominee John Hawkes, and the new program that he's in is called End of Sentence. It's out now. I'll throw a link to the info in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Some Maryland residents are taxed for rain. As they say, nothing is certain but death and taxes. Depending on where in the world you live, rain may just be as much as an inevitability. Some Maryland residents, rain and taxes are both inescapable, and they're tied together thanks to a rain tax, which was passed in 2012. 9 counties and the city of Baltimore pay the annual fee that the Center for Watershed Protection describes as a user fee charged to property owners for the service of managing the polluted runoff coming from their property, end quote. So depending on how much rain and how much land you owe, you might have more taxes because you have rain. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you want to read all about it, I have it in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, your news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline New Zealand. This is a really great story. New Zealand has eliminated the coronavirus. They have not had a single positive test in the last 2 weeks. How cool is that?
That's fantastic.
Now, they have one of the youngest leaders in the world. And when this young lady became a leader, she's a millennial, everybody was making fun of the fact that, oh, they elected this kid, you know. Mm-hmm. And she took kind of a different approach to things. But look at this. Really cool result. So I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Spanish adult film star by the name of Nacho Vidal is under investigation for manslaughter.
Oh, no.
A man died during a ceremony involving some toad venom. I don't know. He and 2 other individuals were arrested May 29th. David Salvador is his attorney, and he said they were arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following an 11-month investigation. It says here they appeared before a judge on the same day. All 3 were released provisionally. Investigation continues. Police have not named the other 2 men. They have not named the man who had died. The names of the other 2 people, a man and a woman, were also not made public. Why would they make his name public but not theirs? That makes no sense to me. Anyway, it says the client was not responsible, and this all happened back in July of 2019. The person died during what they call a mystical ritual involving the inhalation of venomous vapors from the Bufo alvarez toad. Yeah, don't do that.
So they were doing a ritual and it killed this guy.
Yeah, he died.
Okay.
So he was inhaling venom from a dangerous
I guess I didn't even know there
toad.
were dangerous toads. Did you?
Oh, yeah. Stay away from those toads. Oh, yeah. You don't go near toads. Those toads could be bad. I didn't know it either.
I had no idea.
I was just trying to sound cool. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. We mentioned this earlier in the program. This is the story about the guy going into the Wendy's, and they didn't put mustard on his burger, and he went crazy. Here's how crazy he went. Got out of his car, came up and banged on the window, then broke a plexiglass barrier off, yelled some more, and then threw that under a car and drove off. Who gets that upset over mustard? And it wasn't because they put it on. It's because they forgot it. You can get a packet and put it on yourself, and it's done. Now, Heidi over here is making fun of me because I got upset one time.
Twice.
Okay, a couple times. I don't like onions. And I ordered from a restaurant. They put onions on the burger, and I was upset, and I went back in. We were at a drive-thru. And when I was talking to them, I just said, I just want my money back. And they're like, well, we can make you another burger. I said, I'll just get my money back. That's all I need. And I was showing them the onions and dropping them on the counter. I believe it was very studiously done. I was like, excuse me,
exactly
I believe
how it went both
you had
times.
given me an onion when you didn't mean to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was young and stupid. And Heidi just can't forget that.
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you.
Before you cast stones.
Well, I'm telling you right now. I admit it was not my finest moment, but I didn't break anything and I didn't hurt anybody. So there you go. I was just angry over onions. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me?
Wow.
Just slurring my words.
You're ready for a break.
Holy cow. Tell me, Heidi, fake news or Florida? Fort Myers woman married a tree so she could keep the town officials from cutting it down. Fake news or Florida?
I've heard of this happening, but I don't know if it was in Florida, and sometimes you do that to me, so I don't know for sure if this was in Florida, but I'm going to say Florida.
I said it was a Fort Myers woman. That was a Tallahassee one. Just kidding. No, it was. Yeah. It's the same one.
I was going to say, because you do this.
It is a true story. That happened. I remember reading the story, and I remember both of us laughing about that because it does seem quite silly to us. But then again, I'm not attracted to trees like she is, apparently. So there you go. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to JohnandHeidiShow.com. Again, JohnandHeidiShow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of giftcardchallenge.org, which, by the way, is good news on its own. A lot of good things happening from that. If you'd like to get all the details, you can find them at giftcardchallenge.org. Here's a headline. 8th graders donate end-of-year trip money to help Navajo Nation. 8th graders in New Mexico used all of the money they raised for the end-of-year trip to go to the struggling Navajo Nation, which is really cool. This Waldorf school, Santa Fe, they spent their entire year raising money for this rafting trip, which is now not going to happen.
Right.
It's going to be canceled.
To do it. Right.
So they had $2,800, and they're like, what do we do with this? Big pizza party? No.
Huge pizza
They
party.
chose to make a major impact on the lives of others by using the money to help a group in the Navajo Nation. It says in May, they surpassed New York and New Jersey as the highest per capita coronavirus infection rate in the U.S., and the spokesperson there said the leaders are needing supplies, and there's a lot of things that are urgent needs. So they said, hey, we're going to give you $2,800.
Nice.
And it's helping them get diapers for children, formula, toilet paper, wipes, medicine, soup, potatoes, pasta, beans, rice, pet food, and a dozen reusable 5-gallon jugs for water. And one of the people from school and her daughters, they drove on behalf of the rest of the 8th grade to deliver this. I think it's really cool.
8th grade. We never got to take cool $2,800 trips when I was in 8th grade, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to any of that stuff. But if the rest of the class did it, they didn't tell me about it. They're like, hey, It was like, you guys you have fun the other night doing that thing? I'm like, what was that all about? Oh, don't tell John. No, we didn't do anything.
That school must be in a whole different type of tax bracket than
Yeah, I
what
don't
mine
know.
grew up in.
This teacher says, I'm very proud of my students, but I'm not surprised. This is a very generous and compassionate group of teens. They've been raised to think outside of their own immediate lives, and it shows in moments like this.
That's wonderful. I do love that story.
Today's good news. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.